everyone, so this is an updated video on how to set up your Vtuber items in Vtube Studio. So after you've downloaded the item folder and exported it, you then want to open up Vtube Studio, click on the model icon here, click import your own model and open folder. This will bring up the Vtube Studio's model folder. You want to paste your item folders into here, making sure that the item folder is not an external folder. Otherwise, Vtube Studio may not recognize it. Also, make sure to put it in the Live 2D models folder and not the items folder, as Vtube Studio, as of now, will not recognize rigged items in the item folder, so it needs to be set up as a model first. So once you've done that, you want to cross that out, click OK. Then unload model, which will refresh your model list. You then want to scroll and find the asset. So here, I'm going to click on this. So you have two options here. So I'm going to click auto setup. So if you click cancel here, again, your Vtuber item will appear like a PNG. So you want to make sure to click OK. If you do, however, accidentally click cancel, then you would need to delete the item from the model folder, refresh the model list, and then paste it back into the item folder. The model folder, and then restart the setup process. So here I'm going to click OK. So this will now be rigged to Vtube Studio's standard parameter settings. So next we're going to go over how to adjust the settings for this so that you get the most out of the physics and the jiggle and everything. So you want to click on settings and then model settings. You want to ideally turn this off. And then you want to check which of these parameters is rigged into this model, because it's a body item. It'll be rigged into body rotation X and body rotation Y. So in order to get more out of the physics, you want to lower the input numbers. This means you need to do less movement in person to get the most physics. So I'm going to lower this to 20 and minus 20. Now when I move X, you get a little bit more movement. You can even go more extreme with this and lower it to 10 if you want. As you can see, this red dot kind of hits the bar. So you don't want it to do that because it makes the overall physics look less smooth. So I'm going to stick with 20 for this one. And then I'm also going to change it for this one. So now I'm going to rewind time and go back to this pop-up. And we're going to look at this option here, which is copy setup from other model. So this is especially useful if you want to speed up the process. So you want to click on copy setup from other model. And here you have a list of all your models. So I already have this model here set up in model settings to all my favorite settings. So I'm going to select this one. And then you want to check these three and just click OK. And then OK again. And now it's set up. Over how to set idle animations. So not all Vtuber assets will have an idle animation, and so if your item does have an idle animation, which is basically an animation that plays on a loop, you want to click on settings, model settings, and here you have idle animation. If there is an idle animation available, it will be listed here, and then you're able to select it. Next, we're going to go over how to set hotkey animations. So you want to click on hotkey settings, the plus icon, hotkey action, and then click play animation. Most animations will be in a motion 3 format. So play animation, select, and if you have an animation that can be played for your Vtuber asset, it will be listed here. You click on it, click select, and then you can record the key combination that you want for that specific animation. Over how to register your Vtuber model as a Vtuber item. So you want to click on the item settings, the green star icon, and then load current model as Live 2D item. And then you should have this pop up. You don't want to mess with any of these settings, just as we click save. And then we have this new menu. So I'm going to go over what each section does. The first thing we're going to go over is the Vtube Studio's new flip feature. So in order to show how this works, I have loaded up my model and placed my item on top. So the split feature is especially useful if you want to place your model between an item. So all you really will need to do is turn on the front and the back section goes here. And as you can see, it's as easy as that. But I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on how this works. That way you can play with the settings a little bit more if you want to. So the first thing we're going to go over is the front section goes here and the back section goes here. So you can change where the front of your model starts. You can use this slider to visualize it. So here I'm having the front section start at the leg, so that's why my pants are kind of like over the swim ring. For the back, it's especially useful for an asset like this if your model has long hair and you want it to kind of drape over the back of the asset. So my model does not have long hair, so I'm just going to try and demo this with the little bit of hair that she does have. So as you can see, the ribbons are kind of falling behind the swim ring, which I think is actually really cute. So yeah, that's what that does. And the split is automatically set up in Live 2D. However, you can change it. So if you want the split section of the model to be somewhere else, you can change this. But it's best to keep it as is or as intended. Now I'm just going to go quickly over this, the pinning control. So you can have it pinned, have the item pinned to the layer below the item. If the pinning isn't stable and you want it into a different layer of your model, you can click to only pin to a specific layer and then select which layer you want the item pinned to. The expression control. So you want to click on a figure and then create new expression. So here you can customize your item to your liking. So I'm just going to quickly play around with this. Okay, once you've done that, you can give your expression a name. So I'm going to just call it design 1 and then click save. And then you can click on turn expressions on and off, click select, and it will bring up this menu. So you can click turn all on and it will automatically turn your chosen design on. Pretty self-explanatory. Or you can have it assigned to a hotkey. You can click on this little keyboard icon next to the design expression and then just click which keys you want it set to and then click done. So now when you click the key, you can alternate between designs. I'm going to click OK and then click done. So another thing to note is you can have this checked on. So remember expressions. So save the current expression that you, or your current customization that you have turned on as the default option. So it will load up when you load up your item. The next two item controls are pretty simple to understand. Flip is just to mirror the item. And locked is to lock your item in place. So this means your item will not move. If you accidentally click on it, I can't pull it off without unlocking it first. Next, we're going to go over how to color customize your item. So the first thing you want to click is set colors under set on mesh color or tint. You can select the portion of the item that you want to recolor by hovering over it and selecting it. So when you click on it, you should get a list of items that are appearing on the right. You can then click the little eye icon to find the part of the model that you're looking for. So there I have confetti bunny. You'll then have the multiply menu pop up, which allows you to select a color of the same shade or darker. So let's just say I wanted to go with this like baby blue color. I can then also copy the color code if I want to replicate the same color. Or if I was to copy and paste this on the bunny print on the back, I would get the same color. But if I was to paste the same color code on the pink, I would get an entirely different color. So you would have to copy and paste it onto the same color. And then I'm going to click OK. This also brings up a screen option, which allows you to select a color that is lighter. However, the lighter you go, the more detail you will lose. So I would be a little bit careful when using the screen option. I'm just going to leave it as is and then click OK. after you've done that, you can click OK. If you want to bring this menu back up, you want to click and hold on the asset, and this will bring the pop-up. If that doesn't work, you can also reload the item again. Click Configure Fine-Tune Item at the bottom, and this will bring up the menu as well. So you just want to click on Item Settings, click on the item. We'll just use a separate one for this. So here is the item order slider. So if you pick a positive number, it will generate in front of your model. If you pick a negative number, it will generate behind your model. This is especially useful if you want a specific item to be in front of another. So next, we're going to go over item pinning. I do get questions about this from time to time when people have trouble pinning an item to their model. So I'm just going to go over a few things that can help. So this item is not that problematic, but when pinning an item, you want to hover the mouse over the portion of your item that you want to pin over the portion of your model. If I, for example, pin it on the hair, it like wobbles a lot. This is because the item will follow the physics of the layer that it's into. So if it's an item that moves around like crazy, it's gonna move around like crazy. So to check where your item is pinning, you want to click on Settings, Model Settings, Customize Model, exclude Art Mesh from Item Pinning, and then click Select. This way, when you hover over portions of your model, it will be highlighted. So when you have the arrow above the item and you're pinning it to your model, you can see where it's pinning. So here it's pinning to the top. So it's pretty stable. If I was pinning it to the bangs, it wobbles a lot. So also sometimes when you're trying to pin it to a specific portion of your model, so for example, I'm trying to pin it to the eye, but it's highlighting the cheek. So I can select the blush and then turn that off, and then it's not highlighting the cheek anymore. So I'll have an easier time attaching it to the portion of my model that I want to attach it to. Over how to set parts of your model to invisible and then set it to a hotkey. So what you want to do is you want to click on Settings, Model Settings, Customize Model, then Customize Multiply Screen Color for Art Meshes, click Select. Using this menu, you can also recolor parts of your model, but for this purpose, I'm just going to show you how to set parts to invisible. I have a lower arm there, so I'm just going to do a hand back, turn this to invisible, and hand front. I'm going to turn this to invisible and click OK. To assign the invisible arm to a hotkey, you want to click on Settings, then Hotkey Settings. I'm going to click on the plus icon, click on Hotkey Action, and then select the Art Mesh Color preset. Click Select, click Record Settings, and then assign the hotkeys. Click Done. And now when you press the hotkey, you can make your arm appear and disappear. Very cool. Lastly, we're going to go over setting an item scene. So for this, you want to click on Item Scene for hotkeys, create new item scene, click that, and then name the item scene. So I'm just going to call it Swim Ring. And here it will show the items that are assigned to the item scene. You can turn things on and off. So for this purpose, I'm just going to have it all on. Click Save, and then click OK. You then want to go into Settings. Again, hotkey settings, click the plus icon, click hotkey action, and then find the one for item scene. So it says toggle item scene, click select. Look for your item scene list. Here's the swim ring one that I just created, click select, and then you want to record your hotkeys, your key combination, click done. So now when you click it, you can have stuff appear and reappear. Yeah, ta-da! Oh, I forgot to mention, if you want the arm invisible to be set up with your item scene, have them set to the same key combination. So you will get a little orange warning sign, but as you can see, it works pretty well. So yeah, that's it for my tutorial video. Hopefully I covered everything. If I missed anything out, or if you would like a tutorial on something VTube Studio related, then feel free to reach out or leave your requests in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.